Hello and welcome to gagrule.net. In this episode, we're going to try to expose Erdoğan and his lie and deception. And as you know, before, he always was saying, let's historian talk about this genocide. And then he came out with another theory. Well, this is a scientific thing. The scientist has to talk things. As you probably heard now, he's talking about paper. He wants paper from Armenians, that he doesn't know anything. This is how this guy works. He's a delusional. So this is why we're going to talk about it and expose his lie and deception. Mr. Erdoğan, you see, I don't call you Mr. President because I do not recognize Turkey as a country. Because Turkey, the Turks, they were invading power. They were occupier. You never had a country called Turkey. So this is a convoluted, fictitious, falsified country. You're still occupier. So what is that you need from Armenians to prove to you? What paper is that you're looking for that you don't have or you don't know? Mr. Erdoğan, you have physical evidence. Physical. It's much better than proof. You have 3,000 churches. Those churches, there were people going to. What happened to those people? You have provinces, cities, villages, towns where thousands of Armenians lived. Erzurum, Van, Mush, Bitlis, Diyarbakir, Antep, just to name few. Those are all, even today, most Armenian, it doesn't matter which country they're born, they still call them by that name, Vanetsi, Urfatsi, all these things. Mr. Erdoğan, you created 8 million children and grandchildren of those orphans. That's what we are. We are not diaspora. We are the orphans, the children, orphans' children, grandchildren. That's what you created. You invented orphans. You build orphanages for Armenians. Now you want paper that you don't know anything what happened? You see, I don't blame you, because this guy created zombies like you. That's what he did. That's why he created Turkification, so that when people like you come in power, they have no idea. So you are Mr. President of occupied territory. You are zombie. See, you are zombie. That's the problem. There is lots of zombies like you in the country so-called Turkey. And this is the problem. Atatürk created zombie. That's why he changed your alphabet, he changed everything. How many of you in Turkey speak Ottoman language, which is Arabic language? None of you. 99% of you don't know that. Because that was by design, he did that, to create zombies. So now you want paperwork? What paper you need? You have everything. If you didn't have anything, you wouldn't even talk about it. You also talk about 2 million Muslims killed. Who killed them? You were an empire. You were invader for 300 years. You came, you conquered 3 continents. You killed, you murdered, you went to homes, you brought those children, you Turkified them. Of course, people gonna kill you. What do you think? You think people are not gonna do that? And also, who killed those Muslims? You did. The Kurds were Muslims. The Arabs were Muslims. The Persians were Muslims. The Alevs, they were Muslim. You killed them. Your forefather killed them. And now you're coming saying Muslim killed, Muslim died. You are the #1 Muslim killer. You have no excuse. You know, bring me a paper, bring me this, bring me that. Look, you always deny things happen. Look at those Kurds, those 3 women. First day when they got killed, everybody in the world know that you were behind it, but you denied it. You denied it. And now, when French government was going to release that you were behind it, you know what you did? You offer French, you're gonna buy $3.5 billion air defenses. When France insisted, still they're gonna show you and they're gonna release. Now you admit, oh well, some of the people in the MIT, they did this. See, this is how you do. This is your technique. You kill, you murder, and when you get caught, then you sort of try to admit. How about this? When you send your assassin, you assassinated Hrant Dink, again, you denied it. You were blaming CIA, Mossad, Israel, everybody in the world but yourself. Until when the surveillance cameras capture the murder. And what you did, you only captured the murder, not the conspiracy. This has been like 7 years, you're still hiding behind it. This is what you guys do. Throughout the history, you murder, you kill. Not 1, not 2. Look what you're doing to the Kurds. The Kurds in Turkey, you call them terrorists, like PKK is a terrorist. You put their leader in the jail. Yet the Kurds in Iraq, they have the same structure. They have a leader, which is Barzani. They have Peshmerga, which is equivalent to PKK. Whoops, no, they're your friend. Why? Because you is stealing, corrupting the Kurds in Iraq, turning them against the Iraqi government, stealing their resources. You building your country on the back of blood of the Iraqis and Syrian and other people. That's what you're doing. But you're definitely very good friend with this guy. This guy, you're friend with him because you're stealing the resources in Iraq, Kurdistan. 1 pipeline was not enough. Now you have 2 pipelines, and you turn the Ukrainian and Russians against each other. You turn the Europe against them. We know that stuff. And now you brought pipeline from Russia to go through Turkey. And then you turn Azerbaijan against Armenia. You brought another pipeline from there. So you're stealing all these things through those people by turning people against each other. And now you're destroying Syria. You see? You were friend with them. What happened? Did you look what you did to Syria? You completely destroyed hundreds of thousands of people died and refugees. Your crime is so vast, so big. You have no guts even to ask people for paper. Your crime is all over the place. Everybody knows your crime. Even this guy, Mullah Mustafa al-Barzani, where you were shaking hand of his son. You killed his father, brother, mother, everybody. He grew up 5-year-old when he was as an orphan like the rest of Armenian, the rest of Assyrian, the rest of Greeks and everybody. You created more orphans than anyone else in the world, every empire in the world. But you asked for, here, you're a zombie. That is the problem. The Ataturk created zombies like you. Here's a map. Here's a map, route of genocide. Take your billion-dollar jet and go. Go have a look. Go to Erzurum. Go to Diyarbakir. Go to Mush, Ardahan, all those Van. Go there and ask, where are those Armenians? What happened to them? Why don't you do that? You have a physical evidence. There are churches, schools, and homes, and farms. You know, you don't need paper. You don't need anything. You know what you did. Go ask those people. Majority of people in Turkey, they are not even from Anatolia. They all came from other places. This is what you did to. Look at this. This is a British a general who rescued those. He called it battalion of Armenians or orphans. Battalion. Every city, every country, they received those children. Look at that. Look at what happened to their parents. Where are they? Mr. Erdoğan, you know what happened. You know you killed them. You know you massacred them. You know you took their homes, their farms, their butcher shop, their shoe shop, everything. You know your crime. So, Mr. Erdoğan, why don't you invite your intellectuals? Look at them. Why don't you invite them in your multi-billion-dollar office, a castle actually? Ask them. Those are your cream of the crop intellectuals. Ask them what happened. What is Orhan Pamuk knows that you don't know. Call them in. Talk to them. They have all the papers. They did the research. You don't need papers from Armenians. Those people know everything. There's hundreds of them right in there in Turkey. Call them. Talk to them. Look at this guy. He's a grandson of Jamal Pasha. He wrote the books. Akçam, Turkish intellectual, historian, and you could go on and on and on. You see, you have a chance to call those people to do it, but you see, you don't want to do it. You see, you don't want to do it. You don't have attention to do it because you just like to lie around and deceive people. Because look at here what you did. Do you see that? You, when there was 300 congressmen, women, Republican, Democrat ready to vote for Armenian genocide, what did you do? You played a gimmick. You sent your Davutoglu to Switzerland. You said, let's sign. You brought everybody in there. And as you could see, is signing. Why did you do it? If you're not going to open the border or start a relationship. Because it was a gimmick. We know you. Everything you say, everything you do, it's a lie. People in the region, Arabs and Kurds and all of them, Iranian. Here is another one. This is Iranian lawmaker, coordinated action needed to battle pan-Turkism. They know that. Everybody in the region knows. See, Mr. Erdoğan, Islam is a tool for you. Neither Davutoglu believe in Islam. Maybe the people, ordinary people in Turkey believe in it. But for you, Islam is not faith. It is a tools. Just like NATO. NATO is tools. You're not going to go defend Europe. You are an occupier of Europe. The reason you are in NATO to cover up your crime and atrocity. The reason you were a friend of Israel to cover up your atrocity in Washington to lobby. The reason Washington is not recognizing Armenian genocide is because Israel lobby. That's why you're friend with Israel. But now even Israel you're throwing under the bus. This is what you do. This is what you and Davutoglu do, Mr. Erdoğan. See, when your forefathers, they came in Islamic Empire as slave soldiers, they hijacked the Islam, they went and conquered 3 continents. That's what they use, terrorism, mercenaries. And then when you got defeated, you become NATO. So you use NATO as a terrorist organization to accomplish what you want. That's why you drag them into Middle East. And now you invented this so-called Islamic State, where I call it Turkish Jihadists. You're playing both sides. This is what you guys do. So let me tell you why you don't recognize Armenian genocide. It's not that you don't know. Here is what happened. The Ataturk, he had this box, this can, with all the atrocity in it. What he did, the people before him did. So he wanted to put a lid on it. To put the lid on it, he had to change your alphabet to create zombies like you. 2, he made everyone in Anatolia to push on them this Penal Code 301 Turkishness, so that you Turkified everybody. This is the reason why he did that. And the reason you don't recognize Armenian genocide is because you do not want to open this can of worm, because you know what is in that can of worm. You know how much atrocity is in that can of worm. Even though Turkish intellectuals, historians, they try to open this can, but you throw them in the jail. See, that's the reason. And the reason number 2 is because you and your Devatulu trying to re-engineer this neo-Ottoman. You want your imperialism again. That's why you're destroying Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Lebanon, all those countries. You want to turn them back again to Islamization, because that's the only way you could do it. This is the reason you're not recognizing Armenian genocide. You know that million of people you killed. So you see, Mr. Erdoğan, the reason you do not want to admit, because you're afraid to open this box, this can of worms. You don't want to go out. You don't want the Turkish people know you're hiding those skeleton in this box. You know your crime. You're afraid to open it because there's lots of skeleton in there. See, you don't ask document. You know, those battalion of orphans, they couldn't carry those documents with them. They had no food, no drinks. 1.5 million of them disappeared and left with this hundreds of thousands of orphans spread around the world. That's what you did. Those are your documents. These 8 million children, grandchildren of orphans are the document. You don't need document. You know exactly your atrocity. You see, Mr. Erdoğan, you are the only Muslim country that you slaughtered, massacred millions of Christians. Only Muslim country in the face of the earth. You are only the Muslim country that you destroyed thousands of Christian churches. No Muslim country did that. You see, while you were slaughtering, massacring the Christians, those Arabs opened their doors. They were Muslims. They were the inventor of the Islam. They opened their doors, their homes for those orphans. That's where they grew up. But you use Islam as a tool. And you are everything in your arsenals is a tools. Whether you use Israel to go wallah before you in Washington, whether NATO you are in it, it's all tools in your arsenals. So stop denying, start recognizing and returning the occupied territories to the people that belong to. You will do that eventually, whether this 100 years or next 100 years, eventually you will do it. Because those children and grandchildren of the orphans that you created, they will never relent. Never. In fact, they're getting much stronger. You see? You see, you are now in a defensive position. That's why you changed Yurgi Alalepi from March 18 to 24. You wanted to overshadow Armenian. But the world, everybody in the world calling you shameful act. Cynical. Everybody knows now. Because you're a desperate. You're trying to stop those orphans. Ain't gonna happen that. They're getting much stronger. Generation after generation, because you will never be able to stop the truth, Mr. Erdoğan. You know exactly what happened. Admit it. Anyway, Mr. Erdoğan, this is my take on you. And we're going to continue exposing your crime against humanity. And for the people watching, thank you for watching. And we'll see you next episode. We're going to propose a map of partitioning Turkey to bring peace and prosperity to the region. Thank you very much and have a nice day.